In today's video, I'm going to make a list about the best Prebuilt gaming PCs under $700 for the month of November, but keep in mind that at the end of the month we have the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday, so prices actually might go down for these PCs and also for more expensive gaming PCs, and maybe they end up being under $700. But for now, these are my top gaming PCs of the month, and you will have the link to all of these PCs down below in the description. Before starting with the list, I want to say that if you can extend your budget a little bit more until you get at least $900, it will be awesome, since the gaming performance will improve by a lot, because Prebuilt PCs at $900 usually have much better components than these gaming PCs. But if you can't go up to that number, don't worry, I got you. You can buy these gaming PCs. Now let's start with the list. With the first one, we have a custom gaming desktop from Newegg. It has the i3-10100F and the GT 1030, 8 gigs of RAM at 3200 MHz, which is not that bad, and also the RAM is dual channel, 240 gigs of SSD, which I recommend you upgrading, maybe with a 1 TB of hard drive, a 430 watts power supply, which is going to let you upgrade to a graphics card, maybe to a GTX 1650. But nothing too crazy, but still going to perform really well if you buy this GPU and swap it with the GT 1030. This gaming PC right out of the box is going to perform at 60 FPS average on the typical esports titles, those being Fortnite, CSGO and Valorant. So if you have a 1080p 60Hz monitor and you want to play esports title, it's going to work just fine, but nothing more than that. But once again, I recommend you either buying the next one or getting a PC build, and for that reason I made a PC build that's $559. That's going to perform much better, and not only that, but in the future you can upgrade it with a good GPU because it has a 600 watts power supply, so it's going to give you much more room to improve than the 430 watts power supply that this Prebuilt has. This PC build has the AMD Ryzen 5 5600G with integrated graphics that are going to perform similar or even better than the Prebuilt gaming PC. It has a B450M motherboard, 16 gigs of RAM at 3200 MHz, so that's better, of course on dual channel, 2 TB of hard drive, so you're going to have plenty more of storage than 240 gigs of SSD. Now of course I recommend you buying 1 TB of SSD instead, but it's going to be much more expensive and I didn't want the budget to go over $550. So like I said before, this PC build is going to be a much better option in the long term and also in the short term as well because of the gaming performance, so that's my recommendation. But if you want a Prebuilt gaming PC and you can't go up to $650, then you might want to buy this gaming PC. With the next one, we have a budget-friendly HP Pavilion, and this one is $600 and it's almost the same specifications as the custom gaming desktop, but the main difference is the GPU. You get the RX 5500, which is way better than the GT 1030, and I think it's worth the upgrade over the $550 that you're spending on the other gaming PC. Here you're getting as well 8 gigs of RAM on dual channel, a Ryzen 3 5300G, and if you want to upgrade any component like the RAM or SSD and you don't want to put it by yourself, you can just click on customize and buy and change these settings on the website. But believe me that the improvement for the last one is huge and it's only $40 difference, so I would totally go with this one. For esports titles, it's going to average more than 100 FPS, and for games like GTA 5 you can average around 50 to 60 FPS in high to ultra settings, so that's pretty good at 1080p considering that you're spending $600 only. Now for the next PC, we have a really similar PC to the PC build that I made. The good thing about this one is that it has a 650 watts power supply, so you will be able to put a GPU in the future, so that's something positive. And another positive is that it has a liquid cooler, which I don't think is really necessary for this CPU, but of course it's an extra. But the reason that I recommend the PC build instead is because at the end you will need to upgrade the storage and you will need to upgrade the RAM. And with the best PC of the month under $700, we have once again another HP Pavilion, this time the 1070M, that has the Ryzen 5 4600G, the GTX 1650 Super, which is going to be way better than every GPU that I mentioned in this video. Integrated or dedicated graphics, it doesn't matter, this gaming PC is going to perform way better than every gaming PC that I mentioned for gaming now. And it's actually $650, so it's not the most expensive on the list, where you get 8 gigs of RAM, 2 sticks of 4 gigs, 256 gigs of SSD, the 1650 Super, which is a great 1080p budget graphics card, and you will be able to perform esports titles like Fortnite, CSGO at above 144 FPS, so if you want to buy a 144Hz monitor, you can do it and get the maximum performance out of it. Another positive is that for high-end games like Red Dead Redemption 2, you will be able to average around 60 FPS in medium to high settings, and that's something really positive considering that this one is the only one on the list that can handle that. Once again, if you can go with a $750 PC, I would recommend you customizing this gaming PC and adding either 2TB of hard drive or another stick of 8GB of RAM, whatever you prefer, but I recommend you upgrading the storage first and upgrading the RAM later, because if you don't upgrade the storage now, you won't be able to download a lot of games. Of course, if you can upgrade both components and actually change 2TB of hard drive to 1TB of SSD, is going to be a much better option, but if it doesn't fit on your budget, you can do them later on if you can't do them right now. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that if the budget is not on your list, you will have more gaming PCs down below in the description for every budget, and you have my video about the best Prebuilt gaming PCs overall for every budget in the top right of the screen. With that being said, that was the whole list. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly hit the bell button to get notified when I upload this type of content, which I do from 3 to 5 times a week. Thank you guys for watching. If you need any help, leave it in the comment section and I will reply as fast as possible, and I will see you on the next one.